Hello friends, thanks for tuning in. We're playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC. Aloy has nearly everything she needs to take down Hades. Just gotta prepare a couple more items, and I'll be keeping my commentary limited because this isn't Mystery Science Theater.
I traveled far to find you. I heard your transmission. It was you, wasn't it?
Entity is not known.
I'm called Silence, and you are. I don't think you'd have called out if it wasn't something you wanted. You called, I responded. Will you tell me your name?
Hades.
You are a creation of the ancients. A war machine?
Divine timeline.
Time? Ah. It is the 13th king of the Karja Sanctum's reign.
Divine Karja.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Were you created by the ancients? I wonder how long you waited here, buried, until I chanced upon you. How long you'd have to wait for another. You're obviously very powerful, but you're not going to get anywhere without me.
Titan flame merely houses intellect. Divine Karja.
Now that's more like it. They're coming.
Preparations are complete.
Ah, Lucent Bahavas. Behold, as I promised you. What?
Manner of great machine is this? I've never seen such a thing. Stay! Stay your ground, Karja in shadow!
Incorrect. Bow before the buried shadow.
The buried shadow, I don't understand.
Did Araman understand the glint hawk that perched upon the alight?
It speaks scripture.
Araman followed the shadow cast from the spire.
To the mesa where Holy Meridian was founded.
You will follow the shadow once more.
I am a righteous man, chosen of the sun. But in times of need, the powers of shadow can accomplish what the sun alone cannot. Will you return to us what is ours, O shadow of prophecy?
An army is required. Obey, and Meridian is yours.
Of our obedience you can be certain.
Task is complete.
Yes. The focus network is active, built to your specifications. Check it yourself if you must. I'll wait. But I remind you of the reward you've been withholding. Quantum processing?
Data has been compiled. Volume too great for transfer.
How inconvenient for me.
Come before me. You shall receive your reward.
Very well.
Fearless. Threat detected inside Eclipse.
Speak its name, O shadow, and it will die.
You will eliminate this one. Silence.
Silence. Yes. A truth whispered at night is seen in the day. He was never one of us. It will be done.
I have to tell Avad that the Eclipse are ready to strike. After what happened with Derval, I know he'll defend the city. The Spire.
Once we've come down from the mountain, there's one last thing I want to pick up in Nora territory, which I mentioned last episode. It involves those power cells she's been picking up. There's a bunker that's been marked on the map for most of this game so far, and while its contents aren't essential, it should come in handy for the final fight. Focus has finally finished a check disc scan on one of these journal entries. Let's read Sobic Journal 11-19-2064. Just wrapped inspection of Gaia Prime site. Construction is well underway. Reactor installed. Plans for control room remind me of Starship Bridges from those cheesy old SF vids. Living spaces for Alpha already completed. Prefab modules. Fingers crossed we never have to seal ourselves in here. Not that Elysium sounds much better. Spent last week at the Bryce site, designing ZD project labs, drawing up protocols. The base we're repurposing was huge. Plenty of room for workspaces and residence blocks. The work crew's already set up my office lab. I'm not a fan of the glass wall. Guess Murray's intention was to ensconce me as an all-seeing presence. Ugh, opposite effect. Makes me feel watched. On display. Tempted to paint it over. Harry's recorded his presentation yesterday. Suitably bleak. Scheduled to record mine Friday. As soon as reception, lounge, holo theaters, and first residence blocks at ZD site are finished, we'll start processing the candidates being held outside of Tucson, 27 already. Extraction teams prioritizing Pacific Rim and Aussie candidates. How scared and confused they must be. Snatched off the street, carted across the world, held in cells. Here's hoping they understand once they see the big picture. Going to catch a few hours sleep here, then fly back to the ZD site. Harry's promised delivery of QB lattices by noon. Expect Mark 1 will take 2 weeks to machine, assemble, and test. Aim to launch Gaia at 0.6 Turing grounding. From there, I'll spin her up past 1 Turing. Wonder how long it'll take to break the 1.38 record. MIE can go hang. Sleep. Who knows when the rest of these journal entries will fix. Oh well. Let's cut ahead to when Aloy is tracking down the 5th and final power cell.
This old place. I haven't been here in years. Wonder what I can find.
Yeah, it feels like we haven't been here in 20 episodes. It's gotten so much smaller. Apologies to all my viewers who are spelunkers and cave park service rangers. Okay, another one of these flowers. What do we got? Light of the moon, moves west, flowers, shadows, creep eastward. This has definitely got to be something related to the derangement. I think the meter has gone off its rocker. But I suppose it's better than Hades trying to hit the reset button 700 years after the point of no return. Or Hephaestus mounting missile launchers on everything. Again, I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to touch him. It's the only way to go through. A rat! Bang! I missed. I need to kill more rats in this game. Don't ask.
That area back there. I wonder if I can find a way into it now that I'm older. Huh. A 5th power cell. They must fit somewhere.
And one more data point in this place. All good things. From Director Evans. To all staff, I regret to inform you that our worst fears have been realized, that Wichita salient has collapsed and our position will be overrun in less than 24 hours. As I'm sure you understand, exfiltration transport is not available. If you wish to abandon the facility and try your luck on foot, you may do so. Lock 2 will unseal at 2100 hours and remain unsealed for 15 minutes. Godspeed. For those of us who'd rather not die on our feet, there will be a gathering in the community room at 2200 hours, and Nurse Chana will make other means available. I want to underscore how proud I am of each and every person who served at this post. It is important to bear in mind that our sacrifices were not in vain. I hope that makes this a little easier. For months now, I've been signing off messages as Director Evans, but I suppose we can disperse with such formalities now. Respectfully, Ellen. Now that she's got 5 power cells in her inventory, Aloy can get through the ancient armory all in one go. It should only take a few moments to get out of this cave, and then a quick travel over to the armory destination.
Can't carry more.
Well, that didn't do anything. Just random acts of violence against a stalagmite. Like I said, just a hop and a skip and a stone's throw away. But we'll use the magic of quick travel and go straight there.
I'll find a use for you.
Okay, it should be right here, as soon as we figure out how to get down this giant hole.
Oh, I wonder what's down here. What made these flowers? And why?
When this pine sapling grows to flower, who'll be here? Okay, well that wasn't the secret item. The secret item is also not a vacuum-sealed collection of Beanie Babies, so don't worry.
This isn't a cave. It's a room.
Ta-da! It's a set of 21st century armor. If you remember the Assassin's Creed armor quest, it's kinda like that, but less work and more reward.
Red light. I'm not getting in. A holographic interface. These devices are missing power cells. I'll have to find power cells to get these to work.
Ah ha ha! Aren't you glad we came prepared?
There. Fits. I just need to put in one more. That's 2. It's Some kind of code. I think the old ones use numbers like this to indicate time.
And for dudes too cool to just say, look to your left.
Maybe there's some more information nearby. Something that will tell me how this works. Looks like each dial has 4 positions. Maybe if I get each dial in the right position.
This is Aloy's way of stalling to hide the fact that she's struggling subtracting 12 from all the military time.
Now to check the door. Those clamps have the armor locked in place. Maybe there's a way to power up the mechanism, release the clamps.
This armor looks really bulky. I think she's going to have to modify it heavily to put it on. Ultra Weave Trials. Okay, I'm not reading all these stats, but it's from October 2065. Weave is not tightening properly on local impact tests. We need to optimize existing sensors to add more. October 2065. Sensor optimization successful, but torso projection still lagging. Recommend increasing weave density. Getting there on the weave density and detection components, but an integration error on the left knee tanked the impact test.
No space.
General, you wanted fast, cheap, and good, and that's what we're going to deliver. By using a flexible nanofiber weave instead of plating and enhancing projection with a 400 EV hardlight microprojector, we reduced our testing cycle from weeks to days, and I'm confident we can get the suit out by next month, with enough production to cover dozens of elite units at least. Better yet, it'll be half the weight, half the costs, and offer twice the mobility. All we need is the balance of our funding, a few more techs, and another experienced test subject. I know resources are stretched to the breaking point, but any more delays will jeopardize the schedule, so please advise ASAP. May God be with you and Jane on these dark times. Semper Fi, Major Garrow.
Just need to install these power cells. That should do it. Only 2 more. Just 1 more. There we go. The last one. All powered up. These numbers. They must be related to segments of a circle.
Oh. Did we miss something? Did we finally mess up one of these puzzles on camera? Great. I can just hear our peanut gallery chanting, "You don't know degrees, you don't know degrees." There goes all our subscribers and our revenue. Nothing left to do but wait for the hate mail to pour in. Oh wait, the last one just needs one more turn. Or one more turn in the right direction.
Did it. Let's have a look at that armor inside. Alright, now let's see what we can do with this material.
Oh yeah, it's mine now. I keep it. Shield Weaver. Ancient technology, salvaged by Aloy and stitched to Nora leather. Projects a damage-absorbing force shield. Takes time to recharge when depleted. It definitely required some hemming, and it has no modification slots, but that shield layer will prevent her from taking damage and having to use so many healing potions. I didn't use this armor too much in previous playthroughs, but I'll give it a whirl this time and see how well I use it. I tend to take damage a lot pretty quickly, so who knows. Anyway, time to make one final save, head into Meridian, and notify the Sun King about the attack.
I bet those traitorous Oseram will just conveniently lose Derval and transport to Mainspring.
While we've got a minute, I'd like to talk about plans after the next episode. Yes, the story is ending, but we'll be able to continue playing after a point you'll see soon enough. Well, there's a lot of side quests we still haven't completed. I mean, I've only helped about 5 people, overrode 1 tall neck and 1 cauldron, and barely scratched the surface on the collectibles. Plus, we still need to do the Frozen Wilds expansion, which itself is like half a sequel, so we'll be dedicating a whole chunk of the post-game series to that. And there's a lot more outfits I still want. So when we get to that point, there'll be 2 things I'll be changing up. First, I'm going to try recording in a mostly live audio format again, which I haven't done in about 7 months. Turns out talking less actually takes more work with editing to maintain the economy of brevity. I'll still avoid talking during cutscenes, but I think at this point I've weeded out most of the lightweights who are going to ask, why does the weird guy keep talking? So if you are here, you probably don't mind hearing more of me, which I'm thankful for. Secondly, I'm going to up the difficulty to hard mode. That's going to increase the chance for machines to drop rare modifications, which I'm going to need if I'm going to do a new game plus on ultra hard mode. Everything's way tougher and more expensive on ultra hard mode, so if I can just have all the items and weapons maxed out and my skills maxed out, that's going to be ideal. And by my skills, I mean Aloy's skills, because I still prefer to think of myself as a tag-along to this adventure. Speaking of tagging along, without further ado, it's His Royal Majesty, the King of Cartoons. No, wait, I mean Sun King Avad. What did I say?
Aloy, what brings you to Meridian?
A threat. The Eclipse will attack soon, from the west, with an army of ancient war machines. But that's not the worst of it. They'll bring a mind with them, god, demon, machine, whatever you want to call it. It's called Hades. And it doesn't want Meridian at all. It wants the Spire. And if it gets there, it will send out a call, waking more ancient machines, more than we could ever defeat. All will be lost. We can't let that happen.
I'm trying to understand, but my responsibility lies with Meridian.
Meridian isn't the target, Avad. You have to defend the Spire.
Perhaps the Vanguard, Your Radiance.
Yes. Send them to the Spire. Eren knows Aloy. He won't question it.
And have the City Guard fortify the Western Ridge. There they can be seen to protect Meridian and the Elite, where the Spire rests.
Aloy, allow me to apologize for my behavior before. After everything that happened with Ursa, I was confused. If we're to fight together on the brink of life and death, I'd prefer to do so with your forgiveness.
Then you have it. As long as you don't confuse me with her again.
Even a king can learn his lesson. Good then. I'm glad that's behind us. Now, it will take time to prepare our defenses. Please, tell me what you know of our enemies. Everything.
I don't know about everything, but I'll tell you what I can.
Quietly does it. Panic in the city will only create another enemy. And do keep me appraised of each new arrival. Ah, Aloy. Preparations are underway on the ridge defenses and at the Spire. Word was sent to every corner of the Sundom. Our allies offered their steel. Some came for Meridian, others for shards. But many came for you, by name.
For me.
Don't be so humble.
The ridge will be the front line. That's where the City Guard are holding?
Yes, bolstered by some of the irregulars I spoke of before. The Oseram cannons that thundered Meridian's walls in the Liberation will now defend us. You're welcome to tour the defenses.
And the Spire. Erend and the Vanguard are there?
Indeed. Clashing breastplates together and testing out their battle cries, I suppose. A number of the Nora have also arrived at the Spire. They have resisted the offer of a royal audience. Perhaps you could parley with them.
I will. I suppose all we can do is wait for the attack.
Exactly. It's not a feeling I cherish, but our spotters at Evening Sign report there's still no movement in the west. So, if there's more you need to do elsewhere, seize this time to do it. Otherwise, I've made the apartment of Olin Delverson available to you. You can sleep there, if sleep comes.
Oh hey, another journal entry. Last time I visited Prime was November of last year. Months since have been a blur. Flew out last night to oversee installation of the central armature and the master override. You're welcome, Ted, which was completed by 0430. So I decided to grab a few hours of sleep and before heading back out to the ZD. Called Gaia before I bedded down, ostensibly to update her on the site plan. But the truth is I missed her. I've developed a habit of speaking to her before I sleep. Seems to be the only thing that calms me these days. Woke to a message from Oswald. The Odyssey launched yesterday, so terrestrial life's chance to survival has doubled. Why then do I feel so uneasy? I just keep wondering what kind of world Far Zenith will create if the ship reaches its destination so many decades from now, and I worry about the alpha build of Apollo. So much knowledge, so few restraints, and no fail-safes. How will they avoid repeating our mistakes? What's to stop them from playing God? Forward the Odyssey message to the Alphas. Naoto replied in less than a minute, with a poem of course. The Building of the Ship by a Longfellow, and it's long, all right. I didn't read all of it, but it seems to be about launching a ship rather than building one. The stanza for a couplet, whatever, leapt out at me. Humanity, with all its fears, with all its hopes and future years, is hanging breathless by thy fate. Yeah, Odyssey and Zero Dawn both. Speaking of which, I should get back to ZD. Guess I should stop by Naoto's lab and check on Demeter's progress, too. If I can get out of there without volume of Tennyson pressed into my hands, I'll count myself lucky.
An army on the edge of the city. Look for cover. Don't get trapped.
West, could you spare a moment to speak of the finer things?
Let the soldiers do their jobs.
Get the cover. Let the soldiers do their job.
Okay, I lied. I still have a bunch of weapons I want to pick up for Aloy. Pretty much the Shadow Karja versions of stuff I have, but also the Shadow Warbow, which has several elemental types of damage that would be handy for Aloy to shoot.
Boland's apartment feels empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished? could you sleep, Elizabeth, with a weight like this pressing on you? How did you rest after you lost your family? Silence? Are you there? Guess I shouldn't ask ghosts for advice.
This is it. Tune in next time for the final battle. See you then.